right, welcome. I am here with Matthew Tews, and he is the loan originator at Prime Lending.
Correct.
We're here in San Ramon, California, at your corporate office. And Matthew, tell us about Prime Lending and what you do at Prime Lending and how you add value to the community.
Okay. As a mortgage originator at Prime Lending, my biggest goal is to understand what my clients' needs are.
Okay.
Essentially, what I do is mortgages.
Okay.
So we're talking about, is somebody looking to buy a house, or is somebody looking to get a refinance on their property, take some cash out of it, just get in a better position financially with their payments. There's all sorts of different reasons to look into a mortgage. The basis of my company is they're actually based out of Dallas, Texas. It's a large bank, the number 4 purchase money lender in the nation. And so I've got a large backing for what I do. There's underwriters that work throughout the nation that support me. And I've got a great base when it comes to a base camp, which is the San Ramon office.
Yeah.
So what I attempt to do is get to know my clients' needs, have that discussion with them, and then after listening to their needs and what they think they want to do, I give them the choices based on what I see from all their documentation and from what is offered to them through the products that we have. And most of the time, they have a good direction. They understand what they want, and we just move that direction. However, there are times when I need to pull out my professional card and say, hey, I'll tell you what, you'd be better off if you went this way. This is why. And I think that's where it lands, where the benefit comes in. You need to have somebody who understands what can be done and really help them understand that they're going to be in a better position in the future if they go this different route. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I do.
You spoke on client needs. So give me some examples of needs. They want a house. They need a house.
Sure.
Does needs entail the amount they want to pay a month, or how long they want to be in the loan, or are those needs?
There's so many different needs. It's ridiculous. So let's just say you got a first-time home buyer.
Yeah.
Most of the people, 50% of my clients are first-time home buyers. It's
50?
Fantastic.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I love it because they're getting in. Right now has been a great time to try to get into a property.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing. I mean, the first time you buy a home, it's just, unless you've been coached by a parent or a friend or something, you have no idea what you're getting.
It's a whole new world,
Absolutely. So you've got, how much can I afford?
Yeah.
So we have to look at what the income looks like and what we can qualify them for. So that might be one piece. But after you look at what you can afford, they might say, oh, well, that monthly payment's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
So Matt, what can we get, what can we purchase if we had this payment? Okay, so that's a different need. Now I understand that we've stepped down. Sometimes people say, well, I want to make this payment. What are my options? And I can give them a couple different ways that we can structure it. And then they can say, well, this is going to work or it's not going to work. And then we're also, in this instance, in contact with a real estate agent. So we're going to let them know, well, if $400,000 is the purchase price, what can they do? So now there's a third person, and they're saying, well, if you wanted a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in this area, that's not going to cut it either. So there's a lot of moving pieces for that scenario. And if you're looking at a refinance, there's all sorts of other reasons that you'd want to do it. Some people need to bring cash out or want to pay down credit cards or all kinds of things.
Wow, the needs can mount up, I guess. So the creative financing, there's so many different ways to skin the cat of buying a house. Do you go down those different routes because usually there's a book about this big and it's all these different types of loans you can get or ways you can buy a house. So do you really go into all that, or do you have a couple set ways that you would tell a customer client?
It depends on the client. I'll start off that way. If we've got somebody that's an investor looking to buy properties as quickly as possible with pulling out all the stops, we've got somebody that's got a lot of money in the bank. That gives us a good number of options to do things. I will bring in other key players like financial advisors to help us out. Maybe there be a loan against their money that they can do. A note of some sort. And then they're buying the house all cash, which we then turn around and do a refinance on that property. property. So there are ways that we can get in and get the borrowers into a house as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Not all stops, but that's about as creative as I like to get. I'm definitely a role player.
Yeah.
I'll go this way. I used to be an underwriter. That's
Okay,
where I started off.
So you've seen that other side, yeah.
I did. I know what the guidelines are. I know where I want to stay, and that's where another reason where you're leading your borrowers and your clients in the right direction. Nobody wants to get in trouble later.
Yeah.
We want to be clean. But there are ways that you can still play ball and get things done legally and correctly, and get everybody to be happy at the end of the day.
Yeah. How long have you been doing this?
I've been a loan originator for over 2 years now.
2 years, okay.
So it's not been a long time. I have been in the industry for over 11 years.
Wow,
so
okay.
Previously I was underwriting and managing offices and whatnot.
Yeah, nice. And what's your quickest close?
8 days.
8 days.
8 days.
that's moving some paper.
Absolutely. Yeah, if we got everybody on board, we can get it done real quick.
So with that 8-day close, they wanted the house. You guys found the house, or did you have to find a realtor for them? Did they find the realtor first, or the realtor talk to you?
Realtor brought the client to me. Got them pre-approved ahead of time.
Yeah.
Ended up finding the property, getting into contract. That was day one.
Yeah.
Ordered the appraisal. Appraisal came through in 4 days. Went through to underwriting and was completed. And that's the quickest you can go. There's a 7-day rule. So,
Yeah. Wow, beautiful.
It is possible, and like I said, if everybody's on board and knows what they're doing, if we're pre-approved, meaning the underwriters already approved them, it's easy to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. So tell us about the tough times, the rough parts about the industry. We know what happened in 2008, 2009. Well, how did that affect you personally, or how did it affect your business personally? And tell us how you got out of that.
Sure. At that time, I was an underwriter.
Okay.
So I actually worked with World Savings, which became Wachovia, essentially became Wells Fargo afterwards. And part of the Wachovia crew, we just got let go. So I was without a job at that time and kind of scrambling to figure out what I was going to do.
Yeah.
Foreclosures were big. That was one of the reasons why things happened. So I started off a foreclosure retrofit business, and I basically went around and talked to all the agents I knew that had foreclosures and said, I'll clean this house and make it ready for you to sell.
Wait, so foreclosure retrofit, meaning that you're taking a house that somebody just let go.
I took the nastiest houses there were.
So you're scraping mold and taking up carpet.
Yeah, there are things we shouldn't even talk about. Things that people did that were just ridiculous.
Yeah.
They were mad.
Yeah.
So I can understand what we found. But most of the time, people just left behind things they didn't want.
Yeah.
There were boxes, or there was wrappings, or whatever.
Yeah.
Just clean that up.
Yeah.
And I had a crew that helped out with the polishing of the property.
Yeah.
Did the inside and the out, and that was the business for a while.
I mean, that's beautiful that you found that, out of such an ugly time. I mean,
there were opportunities. You got to look for the opportunities.
Yes.
There weren't very many jobs to be had, especially in the mortgage industry itself. So what were you going to do?
Yeah.
I had a couple options and different people. I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I like to work for myself.
I could tell, yeah.
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
I did it until it didn't make sense to do it any longer.
Yeah.
And it paid the bills.
Yeah.
And there are stories to be told. I've got some stories.
Well, give us a story. Tell us about the nastiest house you've been into. It's probably a hoarder's house, and they just left, right?
I've got two stories. I've got one that's a sad one and one that's just messy. Okay, so the sad story is we went to a house, my crew and myself, in Brentwood. Beautiful property.
Brentwood's nice,
Huge. It must have been 3,600 square feet.
Ooh, yeah.
It was gorgeous. Probably 4 years old. It was completely stocked. All the furniture was still there. It was like nobody had ever taken anything. They took some of their belongings, jewelry and whatnot.
Yeah.
But there was a house full of stuff. And I found the backstory out to be the folks had lost the home because there was a medical condition and the bread provider ended up having to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And the whole family just said, I'm out. We're going, I think they went to Mississippi.
Wow.
And they were just done.
Yeah.
So it wasn't ugly. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
It was really sad to hear why there was this just a house full of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, the other crazy part of this is I had a house full of stuff, a truck full of just desks like you're we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
The Goodwill was so busy with all these foreclosures that there was no places taking any of this stuff.
So the Goodwill was being impacted by it too.
Was full.
Yeah.
The respites, the different places, they were full. They were not taking furniture or anything. So I fake listed things. I did whatever I could, but a lot of stuff ended up having to go to the dumps.
Do you own the stuff that you find, or like how do you?
Yeah, pretty much anything that was. By the time I walked into that door, it was defined as relinquished property.
Okay.
And so it was basically it was a free for all for whatever was there.
Yeah.
Most of the time it was just trash.
Yeah.
But any items that were left behind could have been sold if possible.
Yeah.
Hopefully recycled if we could.
Yeah.
So that was the sad one. The ugly one, it was the same house had two issues. We cleaned this house. It was a nice property in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. Weeds everywhere, been let go. But the folks had left one egg in the sink. The kitchen otherwise was clean. Just one egg in the sink.
Was the shell still intact?
Oh, it was the whole egg, the whole egg shell, everything, just looking at you. And my buddy went to go grab that egg, and it literally exploded everywhere. He touched it, and it just was like a bomb.
Wow, why?
Everywhere. I don't know.
It was the heat.
It was a nasty, rotten egg.
Oh man!
And so it stuffed the place up. Something awful.
Yeah.
And we still talk about it because it was just
the egg that blew up.
If I could give smell-o-vision, you wouldn't want to leave the room. It was bad.
So Power Partners is a huge word for me because it's a power partner is a person that you work with, or a type of person or a type of job field that you work with to help your business progress. Would you say that your main power partner is a realtor?
Absolutely.
Okay, and why?
I'd like to have a number of realtors that I work with. It just gets me around the whole Bay Area and helps progress my growth, but the best realtor partner is somebody that's going to give me business, essentially. Well, that's what we're looking for. And it's somebody that I can give business to as well. So there's a reciprocation that happens instantly for real estate agents and mortgage lenders. I want to treat them as best as I can, and I can give them as much business as possible. It grows both. There are other entities that help out the business as well. We've got CPAs, lawyers, financial advisors, everybody that's dealing with money, was dealing with somebody's life on a large scale. If there are deaths or there are times when people take over properties, there's a lot of things that happen in people's lives. If we get a crew of those types of people, the CPA, financial advisor, lawyer, real estate professional, and real estate agent, mortgage professional, that room of people can really get things done.
The 8-day close.
Absolutely.
Get it quicker. You got your contacts in order. So what do you look for? What are some traits? Just professionalism, tact, response time. Is that?
Well, all of those things are important. I definitely want to work with people that I enjoy being around.
There you go.
If I feel like I'm getting some attitude from somebody that I'm working with, I can't imagine what they're doing with my clients. Because that's what we're talking about, is making people's lives better or getting things done. So I tend to stay away from folks that make things hard on me, or there's a difficult conversation that happens. I give lots of people lots of chances, but if it's smooth that way, it's great. They represent themselves well. They're, I don't need, you can obviously see, I don't need clean shaven. I just want the job done right. I want somebody who's going to be smiley and personable. I want somebody that's going to kind of treat people the way I treat them. If I want to go and have a cup of coffee or a beer with somebody on a friendship plane, then I could easily work with them as well. And so I'm looking for that. I'm also looking, the industry is an interesting one right now.
Why is that?
We have a lot of people that have been in it for a long time. And let's say both mortgage professionals and real estate agents. There are a good number of people that have been doing it for 30 years. And God bless them for doing it, because it's not easy all the time. So they're ready to step into retirement. And so there's a lot of younger folks stepping into the business.
Is that okay?
And those are, I like to nurture that. I mean, I myself am fairly new, at least in the sales perspective. And when I can find somebody that I think is going to really be pushing it, really understand that it's more than just kind of a second job. This is a real deal.
Yeah.
We're really trying to get things going, help people, and grow their own business.
Yeah.
Those are the people I want to associate with. So.
Nice. So what does success look like to you? Meaning numbers, not numbers wise, but more of clients you have in your pipeline, houses you're closing a month.
Mm-hmm. If I could be at $3 million in loans per month, then I'd be fairly happy.
So $3 million.
What is that? That depends on what area you're
yeah,
about, right?
exactly.
So I can have 2 loans.
With one in San Ramon, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? You know, so it just depends. I don't try to gauge it really on. That's like one of the markers.
Okay.
If I have $3 million in my pipeline that I'm going to close the month, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
If I've got, I can easily work on 10 loans in a month and get them done without sweating too much.
Okay. Sweating is okay. So, what will make you sweat?
I'll tell you the truth. The hardest part of this is having the clients and borrowers understand that the needs that are requested are timely. You know, it's just a time frame.
Okay.
So setting expectations up front and having everybody understand what those are and how to accomplish those goals. That's what I try to do from the start.
Yeah.
If I've got 10 loans that I'm working on with all those expectations and managing appraisals and whatnot, at that point, it's time to have somebody possibly step in and help out after 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just a timing scenario.
Yeah.
That along with marketing and growing the business and doing everything else that I'm trying to attempt.
That's where we're going next. How do you market for it? Because you're more on the side of, I would say, business to business, because you're not really going for. Well, no, you can be. You can be going for that person, family. Yeah.
So my strategy right now is twofold.
Okay.
It's multifold. So number one, the real estate agent development.
There you go.
I want to get into cahoots with all those folks. That means I'm a member of the Walnut Creek Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the real estate business development group meetings.
Yeah.
I go to network events that are
There you
around.
go.
So now we're not just talking to the real estate agents or the CPAs that I mentioned. We're also looking at other folks that are in the community, that are business leaders, that know other people. Once you start to understand that everybody knows somebody and network, things grow from there.
Yeah.
But beside the B2B, I do send out flyers and mailers.
Okay.
I get into co-branding with real estate agents to blanket different areas depending on where they're working. Trying to let people understand, hey, your values are up right now.
Yeah.
If you wanted to move, now might be a decent time to look into it, and start things progressing that way.
Yeah.
So it is a B2B scenario. It is also straight to the peeps.
Yeah. Nice. So what are we looking towards in the next year? How do you plan to? You went over your marketing and advertising, but what do you do on the personal tip that kind of sets you apart from the average loan originator?
Okay. I'll be honest, I don't describe myself very well. I don't sell myself very well. And that's one of those things I'm trying to learn a little better. I really thrive at being able to put a loan package together.
Okay.
And understanding guidelines and how to do all the back office stuff.
Yeah.
Creating relationships is not hard for me either, but it's the initial get in front of somebody that gets me right in the face. So I'm still learning that a little bit. I'll admit it. But where I really do thrive is having conversations with people, listening to them, and talking to them, trying to understand what they're trying to do, and then putting the deal together. It's my years of underwriting background that makes it so that I don't get stuck there.
Yeah.
A lot of people can go through and sell, get deals in, and then what happens is, say you're trying to get in with a real estate agent and you get one transaction from them. If if it goes south because of underwriting or because somebody didn't understand guidelines, that hurt 2 people. That hurt 3 people.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. Yeah,
You're not going to be getting repeat business from either of those folks.
Yeah.
You're going to be scrambling for meeting up with another real estate agent. Now you just made your work even more difficult. So having that background really helps everybody.
Yeah.
So I'll admit, I'm still working on trying to get it so that I get more in as far as the sales with meeting people and with getting that initial piece going. But what I've got right now, as far as clients that are coming in and real estate agents I work with, I'm plenty busy.
Yeah.
So I'm doing just fine.
Yeah.
Things are happy.
Nice. Busy is good in business.
Absolutely.
Busy is good. So who are your influences and what kind of got you down this route?
I think the biggest influence for me was my dad. And that's just with work ethic.
Yeah.
How to be the person that I am. He worked hard for years and years. He commuted 60 miles a day each way, just so that we can live in a nice place. If he passed by somebody on the road, he stopped to help them out. He was that kind of guy. He got his hands dirty. He would fix his own cars. I wouldn't say a Renaissance man or anything like that, but he did things, and he just didn't sit around. He made things happen for himself. And I took that on. It kind of molded who I am. Yeah. So I try to do that with my family, with my friends, with my fun in that business.
Yeah.
If somebody is, I've had plenty of times where people have called me up and said, "Hey, Matt, my friend is looking at foreclosing or doing something with their house. They're in trouble. What can they do?" I know from the start I can't help the people because they're probably underwater. There's something that is going to be against guidelines. I can't do something specifically, but I can definitely get them on the right path. So it takes me a day to figure that out for them, but it's not a waste of time. I like to help people.
Nice. So how do you learn more about your industry? Do you go to conferences, conventions, and read books about it?
The industry itself, I'll be honest, sends out guidelines constantly.
All these emails, right?
Something new. I'm just building on my back knowledge. There's new products that come out. The company sends those over to me. I kind of stay apprised to what's going on there. When it comes to the industry-wide scenario, what's going on with the properties and the market and whatnot, I've got a number of financial advisors that I follow to try to see where things are going. I've got notifications online that show me where the bond's trading is going. It's important for me to know how the market's moving because when I'm going to lock a loan in, lock in a rate, I better do it on the right day.
On the right day? Usually it's the right week or month.
The right time of day.
Right time of day? I didn't know it was that volatile.
It is moving constantly. And the movement, between 1 hour and the next, I could be saving or bringing an extra $200 in somebody's pocket. $200 when you're talking mortgage is not that big of a deal. Monthly it is, but just for the transaction, it's not a big deal. But it counts to me. So I'm going to want to try to get that. My eyes on that constantly.
Nice. Every hour, every day.
Every hour, constantly.
Wow. All right, so if there's a young kid, say if he wants to be in your position when he's your age, recommend one book for him that he should read that'll help put him in position for it.
I heard this from somebody else, so I'm stealing this.
Okay.
Right? But most books are stolen anyways, right?
It's all repurposed,
right? But my favorite is Green Eggs and Ham.
Whoa.
Dr. Seuss, Green Eggs and Ham.
You gotta give me some more on that. Expound on it.
And I'm saying this because this is the piece that I struggle at. Green Eggs and Ham has Sam, right? And we're talking somebody that wants to eat, being offered green eggs and ham, and somebody who doesn't want to eat it. And the whole book, if read, is 100% a sales book. It's just try it. And it said, "No, Sam, I'm not going to do it. I'm not." And at the very end of the book, what happens is the green eggs and ham are tried, and the salesperson is thanked. Thank you. Green Eggs and Ham is a sales book. If anybody reads it, it takes 12 minutes to do.
First time I ever heard that.
It's absolutely fun. Give it a try and check it out. I think it's going to change your life.
Nice. Green Eggs and Ham, everybody. Green Eggs and Ham. So do you have a main blog that you go to, or a newsletter that you subscribe to?
No, to be honest with you, I don't.
No,
I've got one that I produce myself on my website,
okay.
but I don't have a blog that I watch regularly.
Okay. Well, let's go into more about that blog and your internet stuff, all your links, and how people can find more about you.
Sure. I created a website by the name of www.thehouselender.com.
Okay, that's a nice domain.
It's not too bad, right?
Sheesh.
It's easy to remember.
Yeah.
On there, it's got the ability to start up a loan application, but realistically, I want to give somebody a place where they can look up information. Does it make sense to rent or own at this point? What does a loan application look like as far as the time frame? I've got videos on there. I've got a wealth of information when it comes to, does this make sense?
Nice.
That's for the borrower. I also have information for real estate agents as well.
Okay. Nice. Tailored to both of them.
Right.
Do you have the Facebook, Twitter, Instagrams? Do you do all that for business? Or?
Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and all those things are linked back to my blog.
Beautiful. Everything's on the blog. All right, so this is the last question. So say if you had a friend come into town, right? They're starving. They got to eat.
Okay.
Where would you take them to get a bite to eat that best represents the Bay Area?
Bay Area in general. If I had somebody coming into SFO and they were starving, I would directly take them to Cha 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 on Upper Haight in the city.
Cha.
You gotta try it.
What's the food? Mediterranean or?
It's Cuban.
Cuban, okay.
And I would get a pitcher of sangria. I'd start nibbling on some bread, and then I'd order up some chicken paillard and spicy Cajun shrimp.
Well, you got it down.
And that's it. That's where I go.
Nice.
And, hopefully they understand that spicy's good, and we're having a night. So
yeah.
That's how it'd be done.
You guys heard it, Cha 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 in San Francisco. What district is that? Where's that at?
That's in Upper Haight. There's two of them, one in Mission, one in Haight.
Okay.
I like the Haight.
Okay, that's kind of all right. Good stuff. Well, you guys heard it here first. Green Eggs and Ham is a sales book. Haven't heard that one, but I'm going to look into it in that light. Definitely talk to Matthew about the house lender, thehouselender.com, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Check out his website. And thanks for taking the podcast. Thanks for sharing the information. I'm sure our listeners got a lot from it. And Matt, I'll see you at the top.
Thank you very much for interviewing me here. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. All right.
All right.